Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be completing workout C of the 2.0 series. All right, right off the hop, we are starting with a warm up. Want to make sure we get our body good and warm, loosen up those muscles. We're going to be starting with some cross taps, down and up and over, warming up the ankles, a little bit of knees, some core, some upper body. Get the heart rate up. Few seconds left here of our cross taps. Going straight into hamstring curls. Pull it back. Warming up the upper and lower body. Hamstrings, shoulders, back. A little bit of cardio here to start off the workout. Few seconds left. Going into high knees. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Knee to elbow. Making sure we have a good grip on the floor. Leaning towards the floor slightly. Stretching those arms right up. Bringing the knee up as high as it can go. 3, 2, 1, other side. Knee to elbow. Just a few seconds here. It's all about moving the body, getting it ready to add some weights, making sure everything is good and warm. And 3, 2, 1, take it wide. And lateral lunge. Helping to open up the adductor muscles. If we do feel restricted here, it can impact the movements that we do in our strength training routines. So the warm up is a great time to warm up those tight areas, loosen them up a little bit, and that will reduce risk of injury or muscle pulls. And 3, 2, and 1. Let's go for some toe touches across the body. Again, warming up hamstrings, glutes, lower back, and the core. And after we're done these toe touches, we should be ready to begin workout C 2.0. And 3, 2, and 1. Right away, first movement of our circuit is our chest flies. So we're down on the bench. We have our dumbbells ready to our hips, leaning back. Finding a weight that's not too heavy but not too light. Rolling back on the bench. The weights start above the chest. And we're going into 60 seconds of chest fly. And ready, and go ahead. Opening up the weights, slightly curved arm, and bringing them in. So 60 seconds here, focusing on control, focusing on the stretch through the chest. I'm using a little bit of a challenging weight today. So going a little bit slower with my moves. Now, if you have lighter weights at home, you might be wanting to do faster reps. And if you're working more on challenging that strength, you want to work on a little bit more muscle fatigue, you're going to pick a heavier weight, but your reps are going to be a lot slower. And we're just doing this first set here, 60 seconds, 10 seconds left. Looks like one more rep here. Open, breathing in, and close, breathing out. Weights go down to the body, to the hips, to the floor. Next move is our bird dogs. I'm gonna throw on some ankle weights here in our 30 seconds of rest. So if you feel like you need a bit more resistance in your glutes for these, and the body weight bird dogs are getting too easy, you'll wanna throw on some ankle weights, and you're gonna wanna grab a bit of extra weight to hold with your upper body. Okay, getting ready for our bird dogs. We're in tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Ready for the extension, and 30 seconds per side. Knee to elbow and extend. Knee to elbow and extend. Again, body weight moves might look a little quicker, but when you add a bit of weight and resistance, it does challenge the body a little bit more. So you're gonna be feeling that need to slow down the moves and focus on stability. And getting ready to switch sides. Here we go. All we need is one weight. We don't need two. Really just focusing on getting used to adding a bit of weight and resistance to some of these moves. Slowing down the movements, focusing on stability, full extension. Couple more reps here for our bird dogs. Last one, extend, bring it in. We're coming on up into something called a squat lunge combination. So we're on our 30 seconds of rest. I'm gonna be grabbing a kettlebell for this. However, you may do this with body weight if you like. So choose whatever weight works for you, whether it's body weight or kettlebells. And we're getting ready to go into our squat lunge. So what we're doing here, going nice and wide with our lunge. Weight is at the chest. You can also use a dumbbell for this. Nice deep squat, nice and wide, and back into a lunge. Step out, squat, step back, lunge. Alternating back and forth. "60 seconds here. Nice and slow and deep. Again, you want to make sure that when you are working on these moves, like the squat and the lunge, that you're working on getting the full range of motion. If you're not quite there yet, you might want to just work on body weight first before you go into adding weight. Last rep right here. Lunge, just one more. Squat and lunge. Great, putting that down on our 30 seconds of rest. Getting ready to do our reverse flies. These don't have to be super heavy, especially since the position that we're in for these is a bent over position where we have a glute hold happening, we have a core hold happening, keeping our shoulders back. Again, maybe you're just getting back into your workout routine, or you're just learning these things for the first time. You don't necessarily need heavy weights for these things. Okay, here we go, back to it. Working on our reverse delt fly. So the weights are in front of our chest here. We fly out and in. Holding the core and the glutes nice and stable. We should not be coming up during the fly. It's really important that for this movement that you hold this position and this form. Now what you may do in between, if you're just working on getting that full 60 seconds in, if you need to, halfway through you can come up for a rest and then reset yourself. But it's not recommended to keep performing an exercise if form starts to fail. So just make sure that you don't feel anything getting weaker, feeling like your back is sinking down in, or sometimes too our back will weaken and will curl over. Again, just make sure that if you do feel those things, that you're stopping for a nice break in between. And last rep right here, and bring it in. We're already at our 2 core moves, so we're on a 30-second rest. Getting ready for our flutter kicks. Now these are really great for the lower core activation. So what we're doing here is we're laying on the floor, We're gonna place our legs at an angle where we're able to keep our lower back to the floor and we're able to go into our flutter kick. Looks like this. So if you think about swimming, flutter kicks in the pool, it's the same kind of thing. So if you pick an angle but then lower your legs down, as long as you can keep your lower back to the floor, then you're good. So just don't put your legs at an angle where your lower back is coming off the floor. So we want to make sure we keep everything secure from the floor into the core. So some nice straight moves here with the legs. Go as straight as possible. Nice small flutter kicks. And we're holding on to that lower core. Legs are at our side. Breathing in and out. And really it's just little movements until time is up. Looks like 10 more seconds. And just a few seconds left. Keeping that lower back to the floor. And we're good. We're gonna flip it over for our second core move. And we're going into something called a shoulder tap. It usually starts with a hand plank position. And I'm just keeping an eye on my clock here. Hand plank, hips level with the shoulders. What we're doing is we're tapping each shoulder, starting in just a few seconds. The idea is that we lift our hand off the floor to tap our shoulder, but our core stays stable. So we don't want to be tilting our hips at all. We want to be tapping our shoulders while we keep our hips completely stable. So we're holding this for 60 seconds. And again, same rule goes, if you feel like your form is failing, stop and stretch and reset. Okay? Make sure that our hands are directly under our shoulders. So just check in with your form every now and again. Breathing in and out. This is quite the challenge. So trying to hold our weight all on one arm without tilting the torso. A few seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Great, okay, that concludes set 1. We have 2 sets left. We're in our 30-second rest. So we're resetting ourselves for our chest fly. We're back to the top. Getting our weights ready. Few seconds left. So I'm gonna grab my weights, bring them to my chest, lay back on the bench, position myself, weights start above the chest, feet are planted firmly on the floor, and we're open and close. Now make sure that when you're doing the fly, you're aware of the breathing rhythm. It's breathing in on the open and out on the close. So it looks a little bit like this. Breathe in to open, breathe out to close. Also make sure that our arms are not completely bent, but they're not completely straight. So we should have a nice curve in our arms, a nice frame. Lock that frame in. If you feel like the frame is failing, you will reduce your weight until you're able to hold 60 seconds with that one weight. And we're here, bring it down to the chest, bring it up to the floor, going back into our bird dogs, throwing these ankle weights on. I have 30 seconds, so that should give me enough time to throw these ankle weights on, get into position, grab my weight as well, adding a little bit of resistance for these bird dogs for 2.0. And we're ready to go right about now. Extend, bring it in. Extend, bring it in. Focus on keeping that torso nice and straight. 30 seconds per side. Should be a little bit challenging. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So just remember that. It's okay to do something that's a little bit hard. And switching sides. Force those muscles to activate. Force them to work a little bit harder. Even if you're going slower. Not everything's about cardio. Few seconds left on this side. 30 seconds goes pretty quick. Last one here. And bring it in. Great. Taking these off. Getting ready to go into our reverse fly. So grab some lighter weights for this. If you're used to reverse flies and you're ready to go a bit heavier, that's great. Do whatever is best for you. All right, getting ready for reverse flies. We're into position. Back is flat. We have a glute hold, a core hold, and open and close. Here we go. In a lot of these workouts in our Shape Shift series, we don't really need heavy weights because we are trying to get our workouts in every day. So with that being said, we're going to be changing the volume of our workouts. We're going for sustainability versus intensity. We're at our halfway point right here. If you feel like you're just starting out, you're feeling a little bit of weakness there in the lower back, feel free to stand up and stretch, take a break, wherever needed. A few seconds left. Almost there, just a couple more reps. Focus on that breathing. Last rep here, out and in. Bring it up. Going into our kettlebell or dumbbell or body weight, squat lunge combination. Taking a few deep breaths if needed. Starting in about 5 seconds. We want a nice wide squat form. I'm going to do a front pose right now for you. And we're going to go down into the squat nice and low and back into the lunge. Nice and wide. Squat and lunge. Squat and lunge. Just repeating that. A lot of this is balance, stability, keeping the chest nice and high, keeping the back straight, watching your knee placement. We discussed proper squat form in 1.0. So for this move, you're going to want to make sure that you have mastered that squat form if you are adding weight. If you're still working on that squat form, I would suggest a bit of body weight. Make sure you're throwing your weight back into the heels. And it's not a down, but a back into the squat. And we're good for reps here. 30 seconds of rest. Getting set up for our flutter kicks. We're going down to the floor here. Resting the back. Starting in about 5 seconds. All right, here we go. Again, straighten our legs. Press the lower back to the floor and go ahead. Try and keep those legs nice and straight. Keep the back to the floor. And everybody's hips are shaped differently. Everybody's lower back. Some lower backs have that curve. Some don't. I would suggest that you adjust the angle based on the shape of your hips and lower back. And the lower you go, of course, the more muscle activation you're going to get. But that could take time. So start with an easy angle and work yourself up from there. Keeping going. And just keep breathing in and out. Hold on to that core. .10 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Bring yourself up and over into our hand plank position, where we're going into our shoulder taps. Working on our core stability. And what this movement helps you with is that transition from the hand plank into a plank row, okay? So if I had dumbbells, I would want to make sure that with my plank row, I am keeping my core completely straight. And go ahead for reps there. Keep those hips level with the shoulders. And just focus on not tipping the hips back and forth. If you feel like you need to stop for a rest, you can stop for a rest. Or if you feel like you're still at hand plank, just hold hand plank. If you feel like that's where you're at, that's totally fine. Few seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. All right, set 2 complete. We're getting ready to go into our third set already. We have 6 moves per set in the Shapeshift program. Usually an upper, a lower, and 2 core. Some of the moves end up being isolation, some are full core, full body, full core. We have a variety of things to keep the muscles activated all week long as you work hard at getting your strength training sessions in. All right, 5 seconds, here we go. Set 3, chest flies, weight above the chest. And go ahead, open and close. And check in with your set 3 weight. Is it too heavy? Is it too light? Because set 3 will tell you what to do the next time you do the same movement. So if the weight that you're using for your fly, you feel a little bit challenging, you can feel your arms shaking a little bit, that's what you want to feel like. But if you feel like you can't lift it, if you feel like you lower the weights but can't lift them up, the weight's probably too heavy. So lower the weight and go moderate pace, moderate weight. About 15 seconds left. Feeling the stretch through the chest. If you got lighter weights, you're going faster. For heavier weights, you're just doing it nice and slow, focusing on stretching and strengthening and bringing it into the hips, bringing it up to the floor. Back to our bird dogs. Getting my weight ready. We're on our 30-second rest, which gives us a chance to either get a drink of water or get some equipment ready for our next exercise. Especially when you're working with things like bands and ankle weights, it does take a few seconds to place them in the right position. And here we go. First side, 30 seconds. Knee to elbow and straighten. I have added a little bit of weight to these. I wanted a little bit of a challenge. And it's making my body work a little bit harder. If I was doing body weight, it would be too easy. So that's when you know it's time to add a little bit of weight. Make that body work for the results you want. Switching sides. Bring it in and extend. We're just trying to get a nice straight line from our heel to our hand, while we keep our core and our back nice and straight and stable. Few seconds left. Knee to elbow, extend. Last rep here, extend. Great. Taking off our ankle weights. Going into our reverse flies. So grabbing whatever weight you choose for those. We're in a nice wide stance. Starting in about 10 seconds. Bending over like we're doing a deadlift. So it's like we're doing a deadlift, but we're not. We're doing a reverse fly. And go ahead. If you do have shoulder issues or any issues with the lower back, it is best to use lighter weight until you feel like those areas of the body are strong enough for the 60-second hold in a bent over position. Just keep it light and focus on strengthening the core here, the lower back, and the glutes all together. You're breathing out on the effort, which is the fly out. Breathing in on the return. It's the opposite of the chest fly. 15 seconds. Almost there. Last rep. Great. Bring it in. From here, we're going into the amazing squat lunge. I'll do side view this time, making sure that we understand the squat form. We also don't want to be hunched over when we do any leg movements. So we're really trying to work on proper posture. A few seconds left before we begin. All right, here we go. Nice and wide. Back into the squat. As low as you can go. Back into the lunge. As low as you can go. Wide. Back, up, and back, and up. Go at your own pace. This is not a cardio move. This is not a cardio program. It's about adding weights once you have the form established and building lean muscle mass, which drives up your resting metabolism, which means the more muscle mass you build, the better your body will be at burning calories while you sit at your desk or whatever it is you have to do each day for your job. 15 seconds left. So we're slow and heavy for the Shape Shift program. Slow and heavy. Deepening our moves, adding stability, improving our balance. Last rep, going back, and we're good. Great. 2 more left, 2 core. Starting our flutter kicks very soon. This is nice because you get to lay on the back, stretch it out, give it a little bit of a rest while we work the core. Okay. Getting ready, lifting our legs. Lower back press to the floor. Go ahead, flutter kicks. Go at your own pace. Stop for breaks wherever needed. I always say that. Too many times, women are pushing through the pain, but it's not the good pain. In fact, I don't like to call muscle burn pain. I like to make sure that when we do say that something hurts, that it's a pull or something that doesn't feel like it's right. Muscle burn is just muscle burn. So just make sure that when you are describing what you're feeling, that you're using the appropriate words. Okay, if it's just muscle burn, it's just muscle burn. We gotta burn those muscles. We have to create a little bit of that heat and that challenge in order to come back stronger the next day. 10 seconds left. Just keep talking. Helps to make the time go a bit quicker. But yeah, make sure you're training safely. And always make sure you talk to your practitioner. We're done there. Talk to your practitioner before you start any workout program. Let them know what moves you're doing. Share that with them, and then they can let you know whether it's safe to do if you feel like you need that kind of advice. All right, we're going into our last move, shoulder taps. Starting in hand plank. Ready? Go ahead, a full 60 seconds, nice wide base. You want a wide base for stability for this one. You want to make sure that you have a really good, solid foundation. Make sure your hands are directly under your shoulders. And as we lift up our hand, we want to try to make sure our hips are stable. But if you're just starting out with this move, it's something that will come over time. So as long as you're trying, you will see a massive improvement in about 6 weeks. just past our halfway point. Means we're almost done our workout. Hang in there, a few more seconds. We did a lot of back and core work today as well as upper lower body. 5 seconds left. Usually a couple more reps. And we're good. We're gonna stop here. Go right into a child's pose. Directly into a child's pose. We wanna make sure we're stretching out our lats, our glutes, our back. And in the child's pose, we're really feeling the lats under the arms here. You might be feeling some rear deltoids. We might be feeling some glute and some quad if you're tight there in those areas. And we're gonna be coming up into tabletop and we're gonna go cat-cow. So we're going into our cool down stretching routine, usually about a few minutes. And then just take some more time outside of these workouts to go back through these stretches again and to deepen those areas that you might find problematic, or those areas of the body that are constantly tightening up on you, causing issues. Do a little bit more stretching if you can. From here, we're going into downward dog. You get to stretch the back of the legs, press back on the hands a little bit, push the heels to the floor, take some deep breaths. We're going to bring it down to the floor. We'll be flipping over into a seated position. We do want to make sure we get some torso stretching in. So we're doing a torso twist, opposite arm around and through. Nice stretch through the torso. Breathing in and out. Switching sides, changing legs, opposite arm through. Bring it around and hold. Take some deep breaths. Great, turn it around, butterfly. Calm and tight area right here, right? Who does not have tight adductors? Dancers. So we want to make sure that we give some extra attention to our inner leg muscles. Extra butterfly stretch here. And we'll go into a glute stretch as well. Ankle over knee, bring it up. Feeling that stretch through the hip and the glute. Hold that for a few seconds. Take some deep breaths. Switching legs. Ankle over knee, bring it up. Inhale, exhale. And release. Okay, great work. Thank you so much for completing Workout C 2.0. See you in the next workout.